We start today in Puerto Rico, where there's a neighborhood that starts decorating their homes for Christmas in September, and it has turned into quite the tradition. Our Francis Felix takes us there.
A neighbor of El Cerro in Arecibo started 9 years ago a tradition because of his grandmother's love for Christmas decorations. Now she's ill and he's keeping alive the tradition. How long it took you to put all the decorations?
It took 2 months to put all the lights on each house. First we started with the walls, and then we sorted out by color, and then we went to the arrows. It took them little by little each day, even by rain.
How the decorations start? How was the idea born?
We put it for mostly the kids that come to see the lights and to raise more Christmas spirit around.
The grandmother of Noel Mateo have a saying, "If I decorate, I'm going to do it good." That motivates him to design and decorate each house of the neighborhood. Noel Mateo tells us they have a kiosk of fried food to raise funds to pay the light bills to keep alive the tradition in the neighborhood. Year by year, each house of the neighborhood joins to be part of the lining. Every Thanksgiving Day, they do their traditional lining and a celebration with food, rice and beans, and turkeys and desserts like tembleque. People from all parts of the island come to visit the neighborhood, families and kids. How people react when they see the lights when they come here?
They act surprised because they never experienced it before. They really loved it, and you see the faces on the kids, they have joy in it with too much lights.
How this lining bring together all the neighbors?
It brings all together because we all treat each other as family, and we all help each other together.
Tell us about the big closing in January.
Like you said, it's going to be the 7th of January, where there are going to be over 400 toys for the little children that day, for the last day of Christmas. We're going to have music, we're going to have food. It's going to be very special for the kids.
Time and dedication are key for these neighbors to keep alive the Christmas spirit. Reporting from Arecibo, Puerto Rico, Francis Felix.
All right, thanks so much, Francis. Well, meantime, on the coronavirus front, the FDA has authorized a second at-home pill to treat COVID-19. And while health experts are calling it a game changer during Omicron news and rising cases, the news has left many questions about the two new treatments. Our One Caribbean News' Emily Matson has more from experts who weigh in on some of the biggest questions about those latest tools against the virus.
As Omicron surges, two new tools to beat coronavirus. The FDA has authorized Merck's antiviral pill just 1 day after giving Pfizer's antiviral pill the green light as well.
It's going to transform the way that we can treat COVID-19 and help to avert those dreaded hospitalizations, ICU stays, and death.
Both pills can be taken at home. Pfizer's treatment, called Paxlovid, must be prescribed by a doctor, and there's a 3-tablet dose taken twice daily for 5 days. Pfizer says its data showed the pill cut hospitalization risk or death by 88% if given to high-risk adults within 5 days of their first symptoms.
This is a very, very, very potent agent, and you're not going to need to go to a hospital to get an infusion like monoclonal antibodies.
To be eligible for Pfizer's treatment, you must be considered high risk, must be 12 years or older, weigh at least 88 pounds, and have tested positive for the virus. Merck's antiviral pill, called Molnupiravir, treats high-risk adults and must be taken within 5 days of a positive COVID-19 test, just like the Pfizer pill. Health experts say the pills are not a substitute for vaccines, but the treatments are a potential game changer as the Omicron variant complicates the COVID crisis just days before Christmas.
This is one of the few pieces of bright news this week. Preliminary testing does suggest that it still works against the Omicron variant, which is terrific news.
Emily Matson, One Caribbean News.
All right, thank you, Emily. Well, it's still unclear whether the treatments will be free or how quick the rollout will be. But what we do know is that Merck has an agreement with the U.S. government to supply 3.1 million treatment courses, and the White House has purchased 10 million courses of Pfizer's treatment, with the first 250,000 expected to be rolled out in January. Well, meantime, a Royal Caribbean cruise ship has been denied entry to 2 island nations. The cruise line says 55 fully vaccinated crew members and passengers on the Odyssey of the Seas have tested positive. Royal Caribbean says 95% of all people on board are fully vaccinated. The ship set sail Saturday from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Later that day, it was then denied entry to the island nations of Curacao and Aruba because of the growing number of COVID-19 cases. The ship will idle at sea until its planned return to Fort Lauderdale December 26th. Less than a week ago, Royal Caribbean announced dozens of people contracted COVID during their week-long cruise on the Symphony of the Seas. And U.S. airlines have canceled more than 400 Christmas Eve flights. Major carriers say they have staffing shortages because of the coronavirus Omicron variant. According to the flight tracking site FlightAware, both United and Delta have canceled more than 100 flights each as of Friday morning. United has apologized for the cancellations and says it is working to rebook customers before they get to the airport. These operational snags come as airlines see a rise in passengers. The Transportation Security Administration screened more than 2 million people on Thursday, the highest figure since holiday travel started a week ago. In the meantime, Guyana's President Irfan Ali announced tax-free bonuses for health workers and members of the joint forces. The health workers will get a 2-week bonus following a 7% retroactive bonus that they received earlier on in the month. 9,200 people in the sector will benefit. Now, initially, the government had announced a $400 million payout for COVID frontline workers, but has now decided to give the bonus to all healthcare workers, which increases the payout to $612 million.
I am pleased today to say that the government has taken a decision to grant an across-the-board tax-free 2 weeks bonus salary to every single healthcare workers, not just doctors or nurses or frontline workers, so every single healthcare workers. We have taken the decision. It's a lot of resources that will be required, but we are making that investment in you.
And now President Ali said members of the joint forces will get a 1-month bonus. He was soundly applauded when he made that announcement at the Guyana Defense Force annual Christmas lunch.
Last year, we returned 2 weeks bonus. This year, we are returning the full month tax-free bonus to you. This year, we are returning the full month tax-free bonus to you. And let me be very clear. Let me be very, very clear on this, because I want this to be clear to all those who are listening. We are not returning the 1-month tax-free bonus for any other reason but because you deserve it.